Hi everyone, it's Eric Fэн here. I am the co-creator of the Barnabus project with my brothers Terry and Devin. It's our latest picture book. It's about a little character called Barnabus. He's half mouse, half elephant. And he lives under a pet store called Perfect Pets where they make genetically engineered animals, and he lives in a secret lab, and with all his little friends who are failed projects who didn't quite live up to being perfect pets. So today I'm going to do a little draw along to just draw some of the characters. So I'm using just a black pencil crayon, but you can use whatever you want, pencil, pen. I thought I'd start with someone kind of simple. So this is a character called Stick One, and basically you can draw him just by starting with a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect, but so that's a circle. And since he's three-dimensional, it's actually a sphere. So when the light hits a sphere, it's light on one side, and then you're going to get a shadow on one side, like a ball. So you see, and the shadow is curved too, so it's not like it's just kind of like, so you see how that sort of makes it look like a round shape, like a ball. So once you've got that, he's also, since he's a bird, he's got a long kind of beak, and just a simple and when you're drawing it, you actually want to overlap the circle there, so it comes over the line there, and that's where his beak sort of starts. And he's got two little eyes, which are just basically dots, like that. So that's his basic body shape, and then he's got these two legs. And again, that's going to overlap the circle a little bit, but you can draw some guidelines, just two straight lines. And they're about that long. And then make a little line here, that's where his knees are, right in the middle of that line. And his knees are a little bit thicker than the rest of his leg. So we'll draw two lines just to indicate where his knees are. And then you see how they're not perfectly straight. I'm going to round them out a bit, kind of like an oval shape. And then his thinner, the rest of his legs are just these thin kind of sticks, hence his name. Just kind of like that. And actually this leg can actually go behind because it's in this one in front a bit. And then his feet, sometimes it helps to draw a little guide for his feet, just these shapes like that. I find when you're drawing, it's always good to start with simple shapes. And he's got 3 toes, so we can just, once you have this shape, you can just divide it into his toes. that, kind of. And now we're going to add his wing. Again, you can sort of just draw a triangle here, kind of where his wing's going to be. And then it's curved here, like a little shoulder, kind of. And then I'm just going to divide, put some lines there, divide. That's going to be the feathers on the wing, which has got sort of a couple rows of little feathers on the wing. And now we're going to go, instead of having it perfectly circular the way it is now, since he's got little feathers, we're just going to break up that line just with this, kind of like the edge of a saw. And those are going to be the little feathers that he's got. Just kind of on the right side, on this side of the circle, we're going to break that up. And wherever his body's in shadow, you can, that's where you can add some more feathers. And as you get towards the light part of it, you just, we won't see them as much. So we'll kind of fade out the feathers. And then his body's going to kind of cast a little shadow on the legs. So just where the legs are close to the body, we're going to darken it a little bit. And the last thing is his legs are banded, so he's got, just all you have to do is just draw these little lines equal distant, right, all the way down his legs. That. And when you get to his feet, we're just going to do them in the same direction as his feet are going. So the lines are going to be just kind of like that. And a couple on his toes. And if you want, you can also add a shadow, just not under his feet, between his feet, and on the, since the light's coming this way, the shadow is going to be on this side as well, just like his body. So I'll just give him a little shadow as he's standing on the ground. And what we would do, normally we would take a pencil drawing like this and we'd scan it, and then we'd bring it into a program called Photoshop that lets us color it. But since this is on paper, I have these little brush pens. I don't know if you can see inside, but it's got a little reservoir at the back, which I probably should have filled up, but it's got some water in it. And that just means when you're working, maybe you're sketching outside, it lets you just, you don't have to bring water with you, basically. So it's kind of handy, it's kind of fun. So he's like a bright canary yellow. And It's really not that different than how we would color it in Photoshop. It's just in Photoshop it would be digital instead of paint. So that's all his feathers. And like I said before, since he's round, you can make a little darker color, and just on the side of that's darker, you can add a little bit of darker orange. And his feet. His legs are this kind of pink. Just like that. That is stick one, and I would since, like I said, the little perfect pets in the Barnabus project they're combinations of animals. So Barnabus is half mouse, half elephant. But I'd encourage you to sort of have fun and maybe try your own perfect pet. I don't know what your favorite animals are, but you can combine them and invent your own little creature. And actually, if you're on Instagram, I think it'll be fun to if you do your own drawing, I'm going to follow #perfectpet. I'd love to see what you guys come up with as far as your little creature. So yeah, I think that would be fun. I don't know if I have time. I'll try another quick one of maybe Barnabus. So again, like when you're drawing, I don't know if this is going to work, but we start with simple shapes. So Barnabas's head, kind of a shape like an egg maybe, and his body is kind of a little more rounded in the front, and his back is a little more straight. So kind of like that. He's got a trunk like an elephant, which is basically just a shape like that. And then at the end of it, if you've ever seen an elephant, it's got a little shape like that. So I guess so you can grab stuff. And his mouth is just another little shape like that. And his eyes, very simple, just a little dot like that. And then he's got these mouse ears, which are something like that. And his mouse tail, which starts a little thicker and then gets thin right down to a point. And then we've got his legs. Just draw a little little rectangles. You're going to draw one. Again, simple shapes. And then his other leg will be like that. And it's going to be higher up on this side because he's standing. And his foot gets a little bigger on the bottom. And you can add his little elephant nails, which are just little semicircles. And it's got little knees, just like that. And his little hand is, again, it's a little elephant. So we're going to make his hand sort of bent, arm bent here. And he's got little nails here. Maybe some little wrinkles at his elbow. And give him a shadow behind, standing there. Maybe make his ears a little fluffier. Just like with stick one, we're going to make them a little darker on one side and lighter on the other side. And on his trunk, it's got these little wrinkles. So it's not a perfect drawing, but you know, when you're sketching, not always going to get a perfect drawing, but that's okay too. Not looking for perfection, we're just practicing. And Barnabus is just gray like a mouse. Like a mouse, he's got a little bit of pink in his tail and in his ears. So here we have it. We can put some shadow on with the paint too, if you want. Just on one side of his body. Not gonna fuss with it too much, but so there you go. So hope you enjoyed that little drawing tutorial. I look forward to seeing your own little perfect pets or failed projects. And yeah, so thanks very much, and thanks to Moon Lane Books for inviting us to do this.